Welcome back. We've talked about the fact that for loops let you do a repetitive calculations. The other sort of thing that programming lets you do is do comparisons, make more sophisticated calculations and decision making. So first of all, we want to start off by talking about comparisons and then what are called if-else statements. So in this program, I want to have a look at this part. Here we're talking about comparison syntax. So for instance, a greater than 100 is how you would compare variable a to the number 100. There could be a second variable b. Is a greater than b? That would work too. We have here a less than 5. This is the syntax that you do for a greater than or equal to 50. A less than or equal to 50. Here is a not equal to 6. And here is a equal to 17. Notice there's two equal signs. When you're doing a comparison, you need the double equal sign. A single would make the variable a equal 17. In programming, that often causes a very common mistake and programs failing because instead of a comparison, you did an assignment. Now, when you do these decisions, the answer is either true or false. True simply means the result that you will get is the number 1. So true is the same thing as 1. False, usually written as 0, is actually any other value. Okay? So true is 1, false is any other value. So here a is 0. This would be false, so 0, right? Is a less than 5? That's true, so the result would be 1. A greater than or equal to 0? False. Less than or equal to 15? True. A not equal to 6? True. Equivalent to 17? False. We can also build up more complex syntax by using and or statements. So here is a greater than 8 and a percent 2 equivalent to 1. That would be the same as saying, is a an odd number? When you divide it by 2, do you have a remainder of 1? So that's the same as saying, is it odd? So if a is a number greater than 8 and it's also odd, then both those things need to be true for the entire decision to be true. Here is a greater than 8, and this is an or statement. Here is a odd. So if the number is greater than 8, or it's odd, the result will be true. Notice I've used brackets around here. That usually makes it cleaner to read and understand because some of the expressions in here can be complex. And so you want to keep them readable for any user. Another little thing you can do is you could say this not a greater than 8. That would be the same as a less than or equal to 7. But you can negate a statement. So these are the basic comparisons you can do. Okay? And what we want to do with them is actually make decisions. And we use two things, something called an if statement or an if-else statement. So here's a simple if statement. It could be something like, is a equivalent to 15? Then down here you would have a line of code. It might be something very simple. A is 15 /n/r. And so if this was true, this line of code would execute. If it wasn't true, nothing would happen. Now, if you wanted something to happen, you would use an if-else statement. So an if-else statement looks just like this guy. And after the if part of it, you would type else. And this is the part of the code where you would put anything if it wasn't equal to 15. So is not 15. Okay? So in an if-else statement, this code gets executed if the statement is true, and this code gets executed if the code is false. Okay? It's also possible for you to take this code and nest more if-else statements in here or here. So you can create some very, very complex statements with nested if-else statements. Only problem with lots of nested if-else statements, it's hard for you to read. And I'm going to show you in the next little video something called the switch statement.